I work as an exercise physiologist. I love to play cricket, footy, golf. I'll play anything. Love playing sports. Love living on the coast. I love spending time with friends, going to the beach. Just doing life with people. So I was fortunate enough to grow up in a Christian home, church that loves the Bible and loves Jesus and wanted to teach me about the events in Jesus' life. So I guess I grew up with a familiarity with the foundations of the basic stories in the Bible and that kind of stuff. So I remember getting to a certain point, in church, and it was kind of when communion was kind of going around. So it's where we take we drink and we drink some juice and eat some bread to say that we remember that Jesus' blood and body was broken and spilled for us, that we might be right with God. So that's going around. I'm looking at it and everyone's taking it and I'm thinking, what's this about? So I said to Mum, what's going on here? Like, why are we doing this? Because my brother had just started taking it. I thought, that's odd, that's weird. What's that about? And she said, you take that, Jesus lived and died for you, to forgive you of your sin, to make you right with God. And I went, okay. It was kind of had a seriousness, a sobriety about it, like a soberness to it, and I thought, okay, I'll let that go by. I don't want to. I was starting to think, do I actually think this stuff is real? Do I think it's true and actually happened, or is it just stuff my parents have told me about, and that I've been around my whole life? In the church I was in, that kind of goes around, I think, once every month or every quarter, something like that. So I let it go by a couple of times. I didn't think about it much. Every time I went by, I thought about it for maybe 5 minutes, and then just went on living, didn't think about it again. Maybe like the third time or something went around, I was thinking about it again, going, actually, I think the events of Jesus' life, I think they actually did happen. I think they actually do matter for my life. I think his death has consequences for me and for the world. And I think at that moment, I thought, I wanted to become a Christian. I thought I wanted my sins forgiven by Jesus, and it took me in. I remember chatting to some people after church. And I was only little. I was only like, I don't know, in my teens. There weren't many people my age there, so I was looking for someone to chat to, and there weren't many people to chat to. And I was like, but it was like this big weight. It just felt different. There was this big weight lifted off my shoulders, and I just felt like, it was a sense of, I guess, belonging or ownership now that just hadn't been there before. I guess with that conscious choice. But of course, leading into that, there were heaps of people that spoke into my life and really worked hard with me. Put up with dumb questions and such that I'd say. Maybe it was that communion stuff going around. There's something about that and the seriousness that people brought to that made me go stop and think about it. But I think that was one of the things that I remember thinking when I read the accounts of Jesus' life was he on reflection he lives very differently to how I did. If I reflect back and think of how I thought, and even now how I am, a lot of the time it's a lot of selfish motivation, selfish thought. So I think becoming a Christian, I think introduced me more so to that paradigm of caring for others, not just because it's a good thing to do, but because why is it a good thing to do? It's because the way that I bring God to know God is actually through someone emptying themselves of all their power and might. Even after becoming a Christian early on, I remember just struggling through early life there, trying to figure out what a Christian looked like, how if their life was different, and what if you believe the gospel, what does that mean for how you live life. So I think high school years were a bit of a mess in that way, trying to figure it out. But I think the biggest period of growth or formative growth in my life, I think, was when I hit uni. And I was kind of like, do I want to go? Do I not? There are a bunch of weird people, I said, I don't know if I want to go. It's going to be weird. It's going to be all these new people and this new circumstance, and they said, you're not going to feel like you want to go unless you go. Like, you're not going to feel connected unless you know people. And so, alright, that's a good point. I go along. I went along and I met a Christian group, and I walked into a Bible study, and it was all these people just with Bibles open, asking their questions, seeing what God said. And they were all really friendly and welcoming, big smiles. But it was the place that, over years of people reading the Bible with me one-to-one, being kind of swept up in this community that they didn't just preach the Bible and live their lives, but they were kind of like, it was woven into all the stuff they did. That's the formative period in my life that God really began to grow and change me in a serious and maturing kind of way. But no other religion, no other faith or worldview is founded on events like Christianity. There's such solid hope in Jesus. I think that a guy actually, in time, space and history, really rose from the dead, really did the stuff that he did, it really is God, then that's going to change the way that they'll listen to him. I'm far more bad than I am good to ever kind of match the scales up. Jesus, the righteous one, would give up in his righteousness, and he would die and take the judgment that's mine, that in that event that I could come to know God. So me, a sinner, someone who naturally, with every inkling, does whatever he wants and wants to rebel against God. The dirty great big spot, God actually pours out all this lavish grace as well. Like, he actually gives me the inheritance that belongs to the Son, the King, because in that there's such a security and an assurance that comes with it. There's actual real historical evidence to say that this stuff actually happened by non-Christian sources. That's actually the God that I've been brought to know through Jesus' death. Like, that's pretty cool. Like, that I could know, the creator of the universe rightly, putting faith in his Son. Like, it's a dirty great big spot, but the implications of that being that I can actually know my Maker. I can actually know the one who created me and loves me and made me for a purpose. I can know him rightly, and I think that's incredibly freeing.